You know what's not very rock and roll? Reading rule books. So don't do that. Let me be the uncool one who reads it and teaches you how to play the game so that you can just rip up that rule book and never look at it again. I'm Ryan and this is How I Roll. But for today, I'm officially changing the channel name to How I Rock and Roll because I'm going to teach you how to set up and play the loudest game in town, Hairband. Hairband is a bright, hair-raising, dice placement rock simulator designed by Dickie Chapin and published by Frown Clowns, who helped sponsor this video. It's for 2 to 4 players and it'll take you about an hour to play. Now, this is where I usually say, come to the table and learn the game. But can I just go off script for a second? Yeah? Okay, thanks. I love teaching games, all kinds of games, but I'm not usually that connected to the specific theme. Like, I'm not a farmer living in the Mediterranean in the 16th century, or actually someone who's trying to be the CEO of a space company that hosts luxury cruises. But many of you probably don't know this because you just see me talk about board games. I spent almost 10 years after high school touring full-time in a punk band. So when I got asked to teach this game, I was like, I'm home. This is the game for me. My 5-year-old daughter, Katana, actually asked me if this was me when she saw the cover of the game. Anyways, I couldn't possibly feel more connected to the theme. All right, back to the normal script. Why don't you grab your hairspray, leather pants, studded belt, and pull up to the stage, and let's rock. This is your chance to live the dream and be a world-famous rock star. Hairband takes you back to the late 80s where you're forming an upstart glam metal band in Hollywood, rolling dice, placing them at Sunset Strip locations to practice, gain epic gear, write songs, and play gigs, all while trying to avoid rock star drama that could derail everything. Your ultimate goal is to land a record deal by measuring up to the record label's standards. So will you be the next rock legend to break through all the Taylor Swift noise? Let's find out. Here's how you set up Hairband. Place the game board in the middle of the table, making sure that you have the right side up for your player count, which is shown in the top right corner here. I'm setting up for a 3-player game in this video, so I'll use this side. Put the bag of gear tokens by the board and then draw 3 and place them on these spots. Also put the bag of boost tokens nearby. If you're playing with 2 or 4 players, remove 2 of these groupie tokens from the bag. If you're playing with 3 players, instead give 1 groupie token to each player and put the 4th in the bag. Now it's time to set up all the decks of cards. You'll need to shuffle each of these decks before you place them, so I'll just say that now rather than say it for each of the 8 decks. All of the show cards go face up into these 3 red venue slots. The level 1 cards go into the level 1 venue, the level 2 cards go here, and the level 3 cards, you guessed it, go in the level 3 venue. Place the song cards into 3 piles separated by their 3 categories. B-sides that no one really wants to listen to, rockin', which is getting better, and of course the hits to combat old classics like Kickstart My Heart. Separate the rocker cards by their instruments, singer, guitarist, bass player, and the drummer, and put them face down here. The deck of manager cards can go next to the rocker cards. Playing with these emergency call tokens is an optional variant, but I'm going to use them in this video, so put them beside the manager deck. Then place these talent cards nearby as well. And finally, place the drama cards near the board, making sure you have space for a discard pile next to it. Now each player needs to take a band board and choose their side with their preferred band name. Install 4 amp knobs into the board, putting all of them at 0 except for your volume, which starts at 2. In the color that matches their band board, every player takes their flyer tokens, sticker tokens, album card, 3 rating markers, and 4 dice and puts these next to their board. And then give each player a random record deal and they can choose whichever side of it they would like to use. With this initial setup complete, give the starting player marker, which is this sick flying V guitar, to the player that most recently listened to heavy metal. So if you're playing with me, I'm probably going first. Each player still needs to set up their band and get their beginning stats. But before we dive into that, let me first explain a few key concepts of the game. First off, the goal of this game is to be the first player to land a massive record contract. Each player has one of these record deal cards that shows 4 objectives. In order to get signed, you need to accomplish 3 of these. The first one to do so wins the game. When you meet one of these goals, put one of your band flyers on that spot to show that you've accomplished it. I'll explain how each of these 4 objectives work when we get to the relevant aspect of the game, but 2 of them I'll show you right away as I explain your player board. Let's take a look down. Your band board has your band's name up top as well as a place to store any gear that you gain throughout the game. Below that is your ratings track, which we'll come back to in just a moment. This main area has knobs that track your volume, awesome, and fans level. Volume is the main kind of currency in this game that you can spend in various situations. And one of my favorite parts of this game is that the volume on your amp goes to 11. If you know, you know. And you can actually exceed 11 volume on a turn as long as you spend it that turn. At the end of your turn, you can't store more than 11 volume. Next, your awesome levels track, well, how awesome your band is, of course. Every band wants to be awesome. There's a 10s and a 1s knob. You'll turn these up when you gain any awesome points. These knobs relate to one of the 4 objectives on your record contract. So once this meets the awesome level your record label is looking for, put a flyer on the awesome spot. Likewise, you track how many fans you have over here. After all, what's a rock band without fans? I mean, your mom will always think you rock, but let's dream bigger than that. You'll gain fans throughout the game and you'll track those here. And if you ever hit these thresholds, immediately increase your awesomeness the amount shown here. Your number of fans is also one of your record label goals. So when you hit that number, place a flyer to complete it. And finally, this ratings track here keeps track of your ratings in rock, hotness, and songwriting. You have a guitar pick to measure each category. Just note that an increase of 1 stat means moving it 1 space. These big numbers signify your actual rating, which will come up during gameplay. And also, if one of your ratings ever exceeds this line, gain 1 awesome point. But if it ever drops back down, you lose it again. This space beside your volume knob also reminds you that at any point during your turn, you can spend 11 volume to gain 4 permanent rating increases, which you can split up across the tracks however you'd like. Or when performing actions that require these ratings, you can purchase a temporary increase by paying 2 volume for each increase. Important, these temporary increases do not move your actual rating levels up. One of your main sources for these ratings is your band members. Speaking of which, the last thing we need to do is have each player set up their initial band. I mean, you can't take over Hollywood if you don't actually have band members. Everyone draws 2 cards from each of the rocker piles, so you have 8 cards in your hand. From these, you need to pick 1 singer, 1 guitar player, 1 bass player, and 1 drummer and put them face up in their matching instrument spots beneath your band board. Once you've done this, add up all the ratings on your rocker cards for each category and set that number as your initial rating. For example, with this starting band setup, my ratings would be 5 for rock, 7 for hotness, and 3 for songwriting. Some band members, particularly those with bad ratings, come with other benefits. Like if your singer is a terrible songwriter, they need to bring something to the table. For any band member that has this plus symbol, draw a talent card and slide it underneath them. Similarly, if they have an icon up here, gain those benefits as well. For cards like these, simply increase your volume or fans accordingly. For each icon like this, draw a random gear token from the bag and place it in your gear area. Gear tokens and talent cards will impact gameplay, and I'll explain how in a bit. And finally, each player draws 2 manager cards. It chooses the one they trust the most to make important decisions for the band, places it by their band board, and discards the other. And if you're playing with the optional emergency call tokens, each player places 1 on their manager. And now we're ready to hit the stage and start taking some actions. Hairband is played over successive rounds that are comprised of 4 simple phases. These are Phase 1, Dice, Phase 2, Drama, Phase 3, Flyers, and Phase 4, Reset. You continue playing rounds like this over and over until at least 1 player has appeased their record label by the end of one of the rounds. Once this happens, the game ends and a winner is decided. Phase 1 is where most of the gameplay happens, and the other 3, they happen pretty quickly. So let's get to it, and I'll break down how each of these phases work right now. Let's start with Phase 1, Dice. Everyone rolls their 4 colored dice simultaneously. And if anyone happens to roll triple 6s, they immediately gain 3 awesome points. Then the start player tucks 1 face down drama card under any of the 8 locations on the board without looking at it. Now beginning with the start player and moving clockwise around the table, players are going to take turns placing one of their dice at one of the locations on the board that still has at least 1 space open and then immediately gain the rewards. In general, placing a higher numbered die gives you more immediate benefit. But there are also long-term benefits to placing lowered number dice, including the fact that anytime you place a 6 valued die, you have to draw a drama card. Anytime you gain a drama card, don't look at it and place it face down in your player area. Speaking of drama cards, the first person who places a die where the drama card is that the first player placed has to take it. If no one takes it during the round, the starting player gets stuck with it at the end. The 8 locations are the heart of the game. Let's go check them out. First, let's roll over to the gear shop. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours and dollars my bandmates and I spent at guitar centers all across America. Simply place any die of any value on one of the available spaces and take that piece of gear and put it in one of the gear storage spots on your band board. If you already have 3, you gotta chuck 1 out to make space. Here's the down low on how gear works, and it's the same for any talent cards that your band members collect. The color of a gear or talent tells you when you can use it. These white ones can be used anytime their condition applies. For example, this roadie lets you change a die that you're placing from a 1 to a 4 or from a 4 to a 1. And this talent gives you a bonus for using 3 specific locations in a round. The rest of the colors signify which action they are connected to, so you can use that gear or talent when doing something at that color's location on the board. We'll come back to them when we go over the other locations. Gear and talents can be used as often as you'd like, with the exception of any that have this trash can symbol. These are a one-time use and are discarded when used. Now it's time to put your gear to work in your practice space. Whether it's your parents' garage or a dingy back room at a local bar, your band's gotta get those songs down. Place a die in an empty space and gain volume based on its value. If it's a 1 or a 2, get 3 volume. If it's a 3 or a 4, gain 4, and snag 5 volume if you place a 5 or a 6. Also, the first player to go here uses this space and gets a 1 volume bonus. And don't forget to use your yellow talents and gear. For example, if I place this 3 in this space and have a synergy token, I would get 1 + 4 + 1 for a total of 6 volume. At Pinkie's Printing, you're running a grassroots movement to promote your band. Here you print flyers to advertise your upcoming shows. Place a die and use this chart to gain the appropriate number of flyers, just like in the practice space, and also gain a bonus flyer if you're the first player to use this action. You can now spread these out however you'd like in these spaces at the bottom of the 3 venues, and on the 4-player side of the board, there's also room for flyers at the blue Lucky 7 location. When you place flyers at a particular venue, you have to use blank spaces first. But if all of these are full, you can stack them on top of your opponent's flyers to take control of that space. After all, your band does rock way harder than theirs. These flyers will matter in Phase 3, so we'll get back to that later. And remember to use your purple gear and talents. Here's an example. Putting a 2 here would get me this bonus 1 flyer for being first, and also another one based on its value. I've also got this manager hookup, which is a one-time use, so I trash it to get 3 more flyers for a total of 5. I think I'll place them like this. And now it's time to put all the promo, practice, and gear to work and record some music at Sunset Sound. There are 3 levels of songs: B-sides, rockin', and hits. You'll get to take one of these song cards by totaling the following: the total of your die plus your songwriting level, plus 1 if you placed on this space, plus any boost from your green gear and talent cards, and you can also pay 2 volume as many times as you'd like to add 1 to this total. If that total is 8 or less, snag a B-side card. 9 to 11 gets you a rockin' song, which immediately rewards you with 2 awesome points. And at 12 or higher, you crank out a legendary hit, taking the card and giving you 4 awesome. Here's what this action might look like. I decide to place a value 4 die here, which I combine with my current songwriting level of 2 to equal 6. I also have this muse, which brings me up to 7. I don't want to write a B-side, so I spend 4 volume to give me a temporary boost of 2, bringing me up to 9. So I gain 2 awesome points and take the top card of the rockin' pile and place it by my album card, showing that I've now recorded everyone's new favorite scorcher, Lady Smells Like a Dude. Besides potential immediate awesome points from recording a song, these songs also serve 3 other purposes. 2 of them are that they let you qualify for shows and can offer setlist bonuses, but we'll cover those 2 when we get to performances. The third benefit is that they can contribute to the album that your band is trying to record. The songs come in 3 different types: anthems, power ballads, and scorchers. Each band's album is comprised of an assortment of these. Once you've recorded your band's unique combination of 5 song types, you've completed one of your record label objectives, so you can put a flyer there. And the great news is that when choosing a song, you can even control which type it is. Simply spend 2 volume, and instead of taking the top song, go through the deck until you hit the right type and take that song, putting the rest of the songs back in the order they were already in. Now that you've got songs, there's only one thing left to do, and that's put on some shows, right? Wrong. I've heard that rock stars like to kick it and have a good time. That's why you can head over to Lucky 7 to hang out at a party. Place a die, and based on its value, draw boost tokens from the bag according to the chart below, plus a bonus one if you're the first one here. Also make use of any blue talents and gear that you have. Check out this example action. I put a 5 value die here, gaining me 4 tokens. I also have a bodyguard, which provides me with 1 awesome point, and this mayhem maker gives me 2 more tokens every time I party and use a 5. So I got 6 tokens and 1 awesome point. The boost tokens all give you an immediate benefit, which you take and then put the tokens back in the bag. The only exception is these groupie boosts. These are kept, and you can use one on any turn to place a die at a location that is already full, or you can also discard it for 1 awesome point. When you use it, put the token back in the bag. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the night of the big concert. Our final locations are the 3 red venue spaces where you can put everything you've accomplished so far to the test. Here you'll choose a venue that you're eligible to play and place a die there in order to put on a show. There are a few rules about dice placement though. First of all, you can put more than one of your dice at any location except one of these venues. You can't play twice at the same venue in the same night. That would just be a really lame show. Also, in order to perform at a level 2 venue, you need to have previously performed at a level 1. And similarly, you can't perform at the ultimate level 3 venues until you've played at a level 2 venue. And lastly, you need to either have enough fans or have written enough songs to play at each of these venues, or you'll need to pay the displayed amount of volume. So, choose a venue where you don't have a die that you qualify for, pay in volume if necessary, and place a die there. You then generate a performance score by adding the value of the die you placed with the number of flyers you have at this venue, and also either your rock or hotness rating depending on what the current venue card says, which can be increased by spending volume. And remember to make use of your red gear and talents. You then gain the reward shown on the card, or the penalty if your show totally sucked. These can be penalties like drawing drama cards, or rewards like gaining fans and awesome points. Each venue also has a set list that rewards you for having certain types of songs recorded. And lastly, if this is your first time performing at that level of venue, make sure you slap one of your band stickers on the venue wall. These stickers are how you keep track of what levels of venues you've played at. Let me show you how this might go down. I only have a sticker at the level 1 venue, so I can choose to perform at level 1 again, or try level 2, but I couldn't choose level 3 yet. I'm gonna go gig at Moxie. I only have 2 songs recorded, not 3, but I do have 100 fans, so I don't need to pay the 3 volume, which is awesome. I put a 3 value die here, which gains me an immediate awesome point. To the 3, I add 1 because of this flyer, and then finally another 3 because of my current hotness rating. My pyro adds 1 more, and then I spend 2 volume for that last bump I need to get to 9, allowing me to achieve this middle tier, which gives me 2 awesome points. This setlist bonus is also epic for me because I have a power ballad recorded, so I snag 2 more awesome points. I'm also going to discard this merch token to gain 50 more fans. And lastly, I'll put a sticker here to show that I performed at a level 2 venue. And those are all the actions. That was a fair amount of info, but actions are all quite straightforward with amazing iconography that makes it pretty seamless. But here's a quick recap of the available actions. At the gear shop, grab a gear token that impacts future actions. At your practice space, bank some volume that you can spend on future actions. At Pinkie's, gain flyers that you post at venues, and also at Lucky 7 in a 4-player game for future benefits. At Sunset Sound, use your songwriting rating to record songs for possible awesome points, and also to work on your album, satisfy venue requirements, and gain setlist bonuses. At Lucky 7, gain boost tokens that provide sick benefits. And at the 3 red venues, put on a show in order to gain awesome points and fans. It all runs pretty smoothly. One last note about putting on shows is that it relates to fulfilling your record label contract. We've already covered how achieving a certain awesome level, gaining enough fans, and completing your album satisfy 3 of the label's objectives. And the final one relates to hitting a particular performance level, which is usually having hit the top tier at a level 2 or 3 venue in order to prove to the world that you're an absolute rock god. The moment you achieve this, you can cover this goal. Also, throughout the round, keep an eye on your manager card. Each card offers a unique ability that you can only use once per round, and most of them cost volume to utilize. This is a perk that you'll want to make efficient use of. For example, if your band is managed by Dueno, you just get a free boost token at the start of each round. Or if you have Miami Joel, you can pay 1 volume to post a free flyer before you perform a show. And Wednesday's ability is crazy. Pay 2 volume to place all 3 of your dice at different locations on your first turn. After everyone has used 3 dice on the board, you now total up the value of each player's placed dice. The player, or players if it's a tie, who has the lowest total can now optionally take an action with their 4th die, which is a huge benefit, but there's also a catch. If you decide to do this, you also draw another drama card. Speaking of which, let's move on to phase 2, drama. If no one placed a die where the start player had put the drama card at the beginning of the round, the start player now takes it. Now everyone reveals all of their drama cards. Like gear and talents, these drama cards are color-coded, with the white ones having general penalties, and the other ones relating to specific actions on the board. Every player now resolves the negative effects of these cards. White cards always apply, and the other colors only apply if you took that action this round. If you did, bummer for you. But if you didn't take that action, you get lucky and you're off the hook. These cards have a range of effects, including losing volume, fans, songs, ratings, band members, and more. If any of these cause you to no longer meet a requirement you had achieved on your record deal, remove that flyer. I know, it seems harsh, but the music industry is a cutthroat place, so beware. If a drama card causes you to lose a band member or your manager, you need to replace them by drawing 1 from the appropriate deck to take its place. Once per replacement, if you don't like the first card drawn, you can spend 1 volume to take the next card instead. If it was a band member, adjust your ratings to signify the difference between the two, and also lose any talents or assets that the lost member came with, and gain any that the new member comes with. Discard any unused cards. If you happen to be playing with these emergency call tokens, each player will have one that they can use once during the entire game to ignore the drama card of their choosing. Simply discard the token and get rid of the drama card. It's kind of like a rock and roll get out of jail free thing. Now on to phase 3, flyers. We get to see who the most shameless self-promoters are out there. For each flyer location, which is the 3 venues and also lucky 7 in a 4-player game, the player with the most flyers chooses if they would like to gain 25 fans or 2 awesome points. And if there's a tie, no one gets anything. So in this situation, this venue rewards the yellow player with 25 fans or 2 awesome points, and this venue does the same for the pink player. However, since there's a tie here, there's no reward given. And finally, phase 4, reset. First, check if any player has placed at least 3 flyers on their record deal. If so, the game ends now. But if not, take these steps to set up for the next round. Draw and place a random boost token at each location that wasn't used this round. A location can only have a max of 3 tokens on it at any time. The next player to place a die at those locations immediately gains all of the boost tokens there. Refresh any show decks where performance happened by placing the top card on the bottom of the deck. If a venue wasn't visited, leave it as is. Draw 3 new gear from the gear shop and place any old ones back in the bag. Now all players take their dice back from the board and pass the guitar token to the next player in clockwise order. A new round begins with the player who has the guitar as the starting player. Continue playing rounds like this until someone has 3 of their record deal requirements complete during phase 4. The game ends immediately and this player wins the game. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll give the rest of the players an autograph, for a small fee. It's possible that more than one player has landed a record deal after the same round. If so, the player who has the most completed record deal requirements is the winner. If it's still a tie, the winner is the player with the most awesome points. If it's still a tie, whoever has the most fans wins. And in the extremely unlikely event that these players are still tied, the only way to settle it is through another rock and roll duel. So set the game back up and play again. And that's Hairband. Not only do I have the hair for it, but I've also got the rules covered so that you can play this game without ever reading them. Thanks again for watching another Rip Up the Rules. I'm Ryan from How I Rock and Roll, and there's always room at the table for you, so I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and come join me all the time. If you have any questions about Hairband or need any rules clarifications, drop a comment below and I'll get right back to you. I've also included this game's BoardGameGeek link in the description below where you can find all sorts of other info about the game. Now get out there, enjoy some games, and as always, rock on.